card share today using some FAWN products, stamp and dies. So let's go ahead and get started. This first couple of cards is using the FAWN Happy Summer stamp and die set. It's just a small little set with a cute little watermelon and some ants. It's fun. So with this one, I was definitely feeling picnic and ants stealing food. So I went ahead and made this pair of cards. They're just, they're slightly different, but basically the same theme. We have obviously the sentiment, Happy Summer from the set. We have the watermelon and the ants, and then here's a single ant right here. These are stamped, the ants are stamped, and the watermelon is stamped with Memento Tuxedo Black ink and then colored in with my Spectrum Noir markers. Put on some gingham check paper. The little plates here are cut from Cricut, on my Cricut from the Design Space file, and I actually colored the silverware with some silver paint just to give it a little something. So just some really fun and cute cards. I hadn't used this set too much, so I was really feeling summery here, even though it's still May. I just thought that would be a little bit fun. So also stored in my same little pocket here, the next two cards that I have to show you are using the Duh-Nuh set, the Jaws shark theme set. This is another little set. This one has a lot of images and a lot of different fun things that you can do with this. And I made two cards with this using some of my Recollections blue card bases, trying to use some of those up. So this one here, the background is actually Distress Oxide ink that I've blended and sprinkled with some water. And then of course we have a couple of glossy accent drops just for fun. And the images are stamped with Memento Black and colored with my Spectrum Noir. So here's just a fun little Duh-Nuh, Duh-Nuh, and then You Are Jawsome. Just a fun little card on that blue cardstock for someone. I love ocean backgrounds and I love making them, so any excuse, right? Any excuse to make one. This next one I made is actually a pop-up that I also used the FAWN Pivot pop-up dies with as well. So it's basically the same distressed inked cover, same method. Basically, I made both of the papers at the same time, so same everything, except we have just the appearance of the shark fin here, and actually I highlighted the water a little bit. I made some little ripples in the water around the fin with a white jelly pen. And it's Duh-Nuh, 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 and then you open it up. Woo! And then it says You Are Jawsome, and we have the shark on the inside and then two little fish. The shark doesn't fit really well on the inside of the panel, so I probably won't be making another pop-up with this one, but I did think that it was a lot of fun. So there we are with Happy Summer and You Are Jawsome. And let me get these little stamp sets tucked into my envelope here. And then I used the coordinating dies for those as well here. I can fit up to 4 mini stamp sets in an envelope, so I usually have a lot of things going on in any given envelope. Okay, speaking of cramming a lot of small sets into an envelope, the next one I have is using the I Wheelie Like You, which is another little set. It's a little gerbil or a hamster and an exercise wheel, which I thought was cute. So I have two cards to show you from that. We have this one here, using just some papers that I had in my stash, and then of course heat embossed I Really Like You using my green pearl embossing powder from Recollections, which I thought looked nice with the green from the background of the paper. So here we are with this little cutie, and this one is propped up with a little bit of foam that was left over from this card, which is a shaker card, and I used the foam that I cut out of here to prop up here. I don't like things going to waste, so I made a shaker on this one, and it's obviously propped up with foam. And again, the same thing, sentiment, heat embossed sentiment using the same paper, and the sequins, that's the word I'm looking for. The sequins in here, I used the Hero Arts sequins that we got in a kit earlier this year, and I forget which one they came from, but I really like them. It's a mix of sort of like an iridescent white and silver in both the traditional round sequins and stars. So it's just a lot of fun. Sorry for the reflection. So here we are with those two cards, and again, that's the I Wheelie Like You, and then I have the coordinating dies for that one as well, which are here. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Lastly, I have a bunch of cards, not a bunch, but I have 5 cards that I've used several different products for, and I sort of combined both of the Lawn Fawn Out of This World set, and then of course the coordinating dies. So this is an older stamp and die set, and this Beam Me Up set is from the spring release. And so I combined, because the theme was so similar and they work so well together, I combined both of them to make some cards. And of course the coordinating dies for that. I have a bunch of die cuts left over, and I store my colored pieces right in the envelopes here. That way, if when I go to pull this out to use it again, I can check to see what I already have colored and maybe save some time. So what I do when I get a set is I stamp everything out. Sometimes I stamp it out multiple times. I color everything. I don't always use everything, but I will eventually. So that's what you see here, is I just have some die cuts stored. So these next cards are using both of these sets. Let's have a look. So we have this one here on a handmade galaxy background that, again, I've used my Distress Oxide inks for. I love using my Distress Oxide inks, and next to ocean backgrounds, galaxy backgrounds are like my favorite thing to make as well. So obviously I had a lot of fun with inks working on these projects. Anyway, so the stamp sentiment on this one is "Have an Out of This World birthday," and then in parentheses, "Beam me up some fun," and then you have the little UFO there beaming up some presents. This guy's my favorite. Isn't he the cutest thing ever? So a lot of fun, and I actually used the stitched cloud borders from Lawn Fawn as well, that I have here on hand just for my stash. That's also an older release, just to kind of give it a little bit more interest than them just floating in space. I think I tried to actually ground. If an alien was standing, I wanted to actually give it something to stand on. So, and that's a theme that will resonate with everything else. So this next card is probably my favorite. I have I found the one of the sentiments so amusing that I had to do something with it. So I actually made a slider card for this one, but I used the I didn't even leave it out. I have the it's from My Favorite Things, the circle slider dies, and I don't have them on my desk to show you, but they're actually I don't even remember. I think I got them probably from My Favorite Things directly. So I have this little guy here and the circle slider. Now this one doesn't go all the way around, so this is not a complete circle. This is just mostly a complete circle, and we have the little Earth that is moving around this astronaut as well, and just a bunch of different colored planets. And of course the sentiment that I put on the inside was the one that amused me the most. It's a special day today, the world revolves around you. And then I literally made the world revolve. So this one is probably my favorite. Moving on. And I forgot to mention on the first card that I showed you from this set that I used Nouveau drops. The new clear Nouveau gloss drops on the actual spaceship here, so that it looks like it's a dome window. And that's relevant because I did it again another time on another card. So on this one, so we have this one is "Happy Birthday, Take Us to Your Cake," and then of course we're beaming up the cake. And the same thing with the stitched cloud border here that I just wanted to give them something to stand on, and I thought it was a little bit more interesting than a planet. So there you go. And again, with aliens standing on something, this one's pretty simple. It's just "Have an Out of This World birthday," and I used a couple sparkly gems from one of my Hero Arts kits just to bring a little bit more fun star and sparkle into this one. And then lastly is another slider card, which is fun. This is "I Love You to Pluto and Back." Obviously not astrologically and geographically correct. But this is a slider card that I made, and the little rocket goes to this little planet and back. Ha ha ha, get it? Very fun. And I used the Lawn Fawn slide on over standalone dies for this one as well. So that is what I have for Lawn Fawn card share for right now. I continually have multiple projects in progress, so it will probably be a couple of weeks till I get to do another card share using more Lawn Fawn and start to crack open some of my summer release, which has been arriving slowly. I hope that you've enjoyed. Again, here's a kind of the preview of a lot of the projects that I have used. And my cards. I do have a lot of fun doing this, so I look forward to the next one. I hope you do too. Thanks very much. Bye.